This is Kate Sang, and I'm here with Will Scott, who currently works for Program 15 and the Future Stars series as a baseball operations and scouting intern. How are you today, Will?
I'm pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I know you've had a successful and a diverse career in baseball. Can you tell me a little bit about your baseball journey, beginning with your initial interest?
Yeah, so I think that started when I was like 3 years old.
Okay.
Tells this story about me sitting in front of the TV and I was watching the Cleveland Indians, and I turned around and looked at her and her best friend, who's my godmom, and I said, I'm going to be a professional baseball player. And I turned back around and started watching the game, and she said that they laughed. And then when I was 19 years old, I turned pro.
Hey.
So it started then. This has been a journey of just playing, being recruited by teams. I took a little break from it when we moved from Ohio to Atlanta
Okay.
in 2000, 2001. And I just so happened to start back playing, and a coach from East Cobb saw me and said, hey, come out and play travel ball. And when I started playing travel ball, that's when I started seeing that I can go far in baseball. So it's been an interesting journey to play high school, college, professionally. Got to scout a little bit, and now to be on the business side of it, it's unreal.
It is. It's amazing. It's a lifelong career for you now. And I know you've put in a lot of work and a lot of hard work, a lot of time, a lot of dedication.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think I know you have played 6 years professionally before you went back to school. And what do you think those 6 years of professional baseball did to shape you as a person and also as a leader?
Humble me.
Okay.
When I went into baseball, I went in 19 years old. I'd been drafted twice before.
Okay.
And at 19, and I had this big head, bank account full of money, traveling. You're on the front page of every newspaper. You come back home and you're a star. And I didn't realize it was a business.
Okay.
That is the first time that I've seen the outside world without my mom really being there. And my mom, she prepared me for the outside world as I was growing up, but nothing could have compared me for the trials and tribulations that came with playing professional baseball, having to be disciplined, having to do everything on your own. Nobody's telling you what to do. You have to get up every day. It's a commitment.
Mm-hmm.
It's a choice.
Yes.
And when I got released, I think that was a very humbling experience.
Sure.
Going through the other 2.5 years that followed after that was really humbling, because that's when I learned that it's a business and that you go from being one of the top elite guys to just being one of the guys.
Sure.
And you get lost in the shuffle, and having to find another career afterwards was very, very humbling.
Gotcha. Did you feel like you experienced any highs and lows early on before you were drafted, or were you pretty much just always on fire?
Oh no, a lot of highs and lows. I tell people my 15-year-old Astros year, I set the bench all year.
Did you?
All year, to the point that when we were in the BCS, my coach looked down and he said, "Oh my gosh, I forgot you was on the team."
Oh no.
Serious. He was so serious, and that was 8 games into the championship, and I ended up playing that game, and it was just like, really? But it was one of those times where you go from being the top kid on the team, and then you go to a better team, and you see that everybody's just as good as you or better.
Yes.
That was a humbling experience there too.
Well, what did you do to make yourself more noticeable or to change that dynamic a little bit? To stand out or to be better?
Hard work, dedication. But having a conversation with one of my friends at the time, and we talked about character.
Mm-hmm.
That was real big on him, with character. How do you handle adversity? How do you handle having to sit and wait for your turn?
Yes.
Will you be ready, or are you going to pout, mope, and then when your opportunity comes, now you're not ready? So it was always staying ready, staying in a positive mindset, the mental side of baseball.
Sure. Which is a huge part of it.
A huge part of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, what teams were you drafted with? For?
Out of high school, the Rockies, Colorado Rockies, the Atlanta Braves, my first year at junior college, and then the San Diego Padres.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Nice.
Now I know right now you're a mentor to younger players, and that's an admirable role. Why do you feel that's important?
That humility side, also my faith. When I went through a faith journey after I got out,
Mm-hmm.
being in a very broken place of not being able to do what you love to do, and somebody tells you basically that you're not good enough, and it's like, well, I've been doing this my whole life, and now I have nothing. Where do I turn? And my pastor was very, very hard on me about becoming a servant of everything, learning something new. And so with him mentoring me, it made me want to mentor younger kids, where to say that I want you to get to where I got to, but I want to teach you how to go farther. Because I had to be honest with myself and say that I could have done more. There were things that I could have done different, but I can't go back and change my career. So let me help somebody else change the path of theirs.
That's amazing.
I'm on grades, make sure, be a student first, get your grades. And, that mental side of baseball, also teaching them how to work at a younger age so they don't have to figure it out when they get to college or get to professional baseball.
That's amazing. It's great that you do that. And I know there are a lot of people who really appreciate your wisdom and your experience. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
I know that you started Push Performance and Athletics in 2017. What can you tell me about that?
So that came, honestly, that was just a random thing. I had already been training kids and coaching, and I looked at everybody else building a travel program. Mm-hmm. And I can always point out the bad in everybody's travel program, or what would I do different if I had my own program. And I started writing down ideas, and then I said, you know something? I've seen how people run their travel programs. I've seen how they've gotten buildings and all these things. So why can't I do the same thing? Mm-hmm. And that was that moment where I said, let me start something, start building a name, even if I don't start a travel program with it for another 8, 10 years. But let me just start something to start building that name that people can put a face to. And people had already known my name, but now it's putting a face to that business. And so that when I do open up that program, they'll know that, oh, that's Coach Will. And, my character and how I work with kids, it will speak for itself.
That's amazing. So do you foresee it being something 8 to 10 years down the road that you'll really get deeply involved with?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't put a timetable on when I would really get involved with it. I think I still work with it now with doing lessons and coaching a little bit, being paid through a business aspect and learning business, but also being on that baseball side of having mentors who do this, but also work professional executive jobs, and learning that aspect to bring back to the whole youth program. And I think that's a big thing with making relationships, networking, and really having a backing.
Absolutely.
I want to really push that.
That makes sense. Now I see a lot of high school athletes who are like you said you were. They're more performance driven, focusing on that side of the sports as opposed to the life skills, which is one of the great things about baseball. There are plenty of life skills to be learned. Mm-hmm. Other than the humility, what type of advice do you have for them?
Learn how to handle failure.
Okay.
Because a lot of failures are going to come in life, a lot of challenges and obstacles.
Yes.
Learn how to handle adversity. Because Because in baseball, you hit the ball 2 out of 10 times, you're awful. You hit the ball 3 out of 10 times, you're considered the best hitter alive.
Right.
It's not a big room for margin. And that was with high school players. I really try and teach them that, like, learn how to fail now because you're going to fail. You're going to hit a speed bump in the road where baseball is going to smack you in the face. You're going to come up against teams that are just better than you, kids who are just better than you. You sign a college scholarship. You go, remember that there's sophomore, juniors, and seniors who have been there and have already been working, so they have the top spot already. You are just a kid coming in. Now you have to earn your spot.
Right.
And that's a big thing.
Yes, especially when you're used to being the top guy on the team or one of them.
Yeah, one of them.
Let's see. I know you give back a lot outside of the mentoring of youth for baseball. You also give back through your church at Greater Community. What is the youth group ministry that you're involved with?
It's a young adult ministry, The Bridge at ATL, based college kids and millennials. And we meet every other Monday. Our pastor leads it, and he talks to us about life, about the challenges that we will face in life, and having a faith-based foundation through life. And for me, I relate to that because going into baseball, I had a foundation that was built on the applause of men.
Sure.
When people were clapping, I was at an all-time high.
Yep.
But when people stopped clapping, I thought I was a failure. And that's not exactly true. But when you have a faith foundation, it's almost like you can tackle anything. You can handle anything that comes at you because your faith is in God and knowing who God is in your life. And that's one of the biggest things that he has taught us.
That's huge, because if you have your faith to fall back on, it's not saying it's easy, it's not, but what a much better place to fall than if you don't, right?
If you don't, yes.
So
you have it's almost like a bed to fall back to.
Right.
Somebody there to catch you where you're like, okay, I've been here before. I've seen the things that you've done in my life already, so I can trust you that you're going to do more. Absolutely.
Still not easy, but
still very, not easy.
But very, very helpful and so important. Well, I'm so thankful that you were able to talk to me today. If there was someone who wanted to get in touch with you about baseball or about your organization, Push Performance and Athletics, how would they do that?
My Instagram account is big. It is Mr._Will Scott. Also emailing me at WSCOTT@pushathletes.com.
Okay.
Think about that one for a minute. But those are the two main places.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today. I'm so inspired by you, and I love what you're doing. I love the way you're giving back, and I just thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.